Hey, welcome again for our USA Hockey webinar series. We're really excited to have Marty St. Louis and Roger Grillo help present it, and I'm going to turn it over to these guys.
Thanks, Dave. And Dave, thanks for all your hard work putting this together. And before I introduce our special guest, I wanted to take the opportunity from USA Hockey and certainly from our ADM staff and the CEP coaching staff, coaching education staff, to thank all the coaches out there and going through some tough times here with the end of the season being canceled and having no hockey to be a part of right now is obviously difficult for all of us. And from all of us, we hope everybody out there's their family and friends are doing well and they're healthy and safe. We're fortunate today to have somebody that I've known since he was 15 years old. I watched Marty play youth hockey. I coached him in college hockey. I followed his pro career very closely, and now probably some of the most enjoyable times is following him as a youth hockey coach himself with his three boys. So we're very honored to have Marty St. Louis, Hall of Famer, on our webinar today to talk about some offensive concepts. So Marty, it's all yours.
All right. Well, welcome everyone. Thanks, Roger, for the introduction. Dave, thank you for helping me out with this. This is my first, I've had a couple practice run, but this is my first actual game, so to speak. So, I didn't want to talk about too many things. And for me, like the offensive side of things, to me, every offensive side of things starts with a transition. Then you have your entries and your ozone. So transition, you're going to hear me talk about, a couple things today in the video, playing fast and filling lanes. Okay. And I got to go to full screen. Okay. Then entries, in today's game, especially at the higher level, with so much back pressure being emphasized, even in the youth level, it's really hard to cut and drop, and most of the entries are usually wide. Not that there's never a chance that you cut and drop, but percentage wise, you're gonna have more like wide entry with a net drive. You're gonna hear me talk about layers. To me, offensively, you need layers, and I'll explain that as we go through the video. And a lot of one of the big reasons why teams have success on the entries and generate offensive zone time is a lot to do with the puck carrier. A lot of coach talk about playing a deep game, and especially at the upper level. Like for me, as a puck carrier, it's about going as deep as you need based on what's coming with you. You can't just skate yourself hard into the corner and then, go die in the corner. And then that's what they want. Teams want you in the corner as much as possible. So if you can buy yourself some time and wait for help if you're by yourself, we're going to talk about going as deep as you need, not as deep as you can. Okay. And ozone, to me, obviously a good ozone usually starts from entries or winning face-off in the offensive zone, but we're talking about entries today. And a lot of it, the ozone time, to me, it's all about retrievals. You have teams that possess a lot, but they don't generate enough. So to me, a good ozone is, 2-3 passes and a shot, retrieve. 2-3 passes, shot, retrieve. It's not about always manufacturing like a home run play. I love singles and doubles in the ozone, and that usually translates to maybe a home run play later, because now the defensive group is tired, or maybe you draw a penalty. But it all comes from retrievals, and I'll explain that. We talked about on the entries about not dying with the puck in the corner. A lot of players want the puck on their stick. And especially at the younger level, they're so used to having on their stick the best players. And the problem is, as they get older, those guys tend to actually like get in the corner and die with it, because they've never learned to play fast and let the puck do the work. So we'll talk about that a little bit. Listen, like some of the stuff that we talk about today, it's a concept. Like I coach concept, and I don't force guys to make certain plays or decision. I force them to think and make their reads, and they will make bad reads, and that's part of it. You know, there's not one game that I left the game and I thought I played a perfect game. That never happened. You know, I always want 2, 3, 4, 5 reads back. You can't get them. You learn from them and you move on. But I'm trying to teach the kid is the literally is the play without the puck. And we're going to talk about the layers, and I'll be able to explain it a little better. But if the player has options, you'll have plenty of reads to make, and you'll usually over time you'll find the right reads better and better. And that's what separates the players really as they get older. You know, is who reads the game the best. Eventually, everybody's fast, everybody's strong, everybody's got great hands, they can shoot. Is who can read it the best. And it's not just reading with it, it's reading without the puck. Where do you go? Why do you go there? Okay. And I refer to that as covering ice. Okay. If you're like can hold hands with a teammate, you're not covering ice. So, all right, let's go into some video. So hold on. I hit my keys. Okay. So this is the first one. This is off a transition. Okay. The puck got flipped out. Okay. Oh. Hold on. Bear with me. Okay. Okay, so we talk about filling lanes. The puck came out. We talk about filling lane, and watch my cursor here. Okay, so Palat is obviously on the left side. You had center support that kind of drew. This guy kind of drew 3 guys to him because you had a guy in the center lane, and you got a white ice with Stamkos on the white ice. Okay, and now what I really like about this is this defenseman. I think it's Girardi over here. Okay, he realized that the center lane is not filled anymore. Okay, because I love this. I mean, we're not in the offensive zone right now, but that's still layers. Okay, so Girardi is going to fill that layer. Okay, and that's important to generate offense, to not just have a 3-man attack. And the other thing about filling lanes, like I know at the young age you want your kids to play their position. Okay, but you know, whatever happens if it's dumped out of the offensive zone, let's say the puck gets dumped out, okay, and you're a left wing, but you're the closest to the right board, you should fill that right away, okay? It's the actual position you play is not as important. You got filling the lane as fast as we can is the most important. So then you can play fast, okay? And if you can transition fast, the Ds don't have time to come up and gap. They don't have time to get above somebody, especially like this guy, so to speak, if you play fast, okay? He's kind of like in between. But if you play slow, they all get in position. It's going to be harder to transition. So if you fill the lane fast, you're going to be able to transition quick. So don't worry about what position the kids play. Fill lanes, okay? So here we go. All right, so now we have an entry. And I know Girardi's a defenseman. Okay, he's a defenseman, but he's the closest guy to the puck. He's got to drive. Okay, so he drives. Okay, there's some layer. Okay, here's your layer. So let me explain layers. The way I coach layers. Okay, I'm gonna draw here. Okay, so let's pretend there's a line right here. Okay, and let's pretend there's a line right here. Okay, so here are your layers. Okay, this is layer 1, this is layer 2, and this is layer 3. Okay, it's really hard to hit layer 2 if layer 1's not taken care of. Okay, so to me, layer 1, it's usually the net drive. Okay, and if they're sleeping, sometimes it's a quick play to him. He should be your first look on the net drive. Because if you look at the net drive, what's going to happen is you're going to draw, okay, if you're constantly looking here, you're going to draw people going this way. But if you're just going to stare down your play here all the time, he's probably not going to be as open. So if you can look at layer 1, which is a net drive, trying to sell that, okay, and you're able to find layer 2, Oh, bear with me. It's just not playing right now. All right. Clear that. All right, bear with me. We'll get back to that. Oh, I get it. Okay, here we go. All right. So that's the same clip. All right, okay. So now if you look at this right now, every spot is covered. We're covering ice right now. We retrieve that puck. And I know Stamkos is a forward and the defenseman is still at the net, right? Girardi's still at the net. That's okay. It's about filling, you know, the same kind of concept in the neutral zone, filling lanes, okay, is more important than the position you play. Well, in the offensive zone, filling a spot, especially off entry, is more important than the position you play. There'll be a time for Girardi to go back out. All right. Hopefully the next clip doesn't. Okay. This one, entry. Okay. So we talk about going as, watch this entry. And remember the layers of the lines that I put on the previous clip. Okay. So here, like, Kunitz could still go deeper probably, but he goes as deep as he needs to. He knows he has center support. Okay, there's your layer right here. Okay, and now you still got, you know, he's still part of the first, he's kind of part of the first, second layer, and he's your second layer. Okay, we make a play, doesn't pan out. Look at all the spots filled. Okay, like to me, one of the most important thing I think in the offensive zone, okay, is not having two guys duplicating job. So watch my cursor, okay? I don't like this guy being in front of the goalie as well, okay? Because now you have two of our guys, and then you probably have one or two of their guys. There's nothing to shoot at, okay? It gets blocked, and the puck ends up like probably right here, and we have nobody that can retrieve it. So for me, ideally, when you get in this ozone, extended ozone time, and you get every part filled, I like this guy to be higher in the hash marks area, okay? Because he can retrieve and keep pucks alive. Okay. So that guy who was right here, right? So it's very important to constantly know, okay, where the puck is and what my teammates are doing. So for me, I talk about toe caps. I talk all the time about toe caps. If I have a defenseman diving in with his toe cap facing north, which is offensive side of thing, I need a forward diving out with his toe cap facing south. Okay? And again, it's about just playing hockey. It's not about playing a certain position. Okay? The defenseman has a great angle on that play, and that's why he should go in. Roger, am I stopping it too much? Is that why it's freezing?
Nope. Yeah, I think you're fine. I think it's just the bandwidth and the Wi-Fi. Don't worry about it. You're fine.
Okay, so this one, transition off a breakdown. Okay, we enter wide. Now Brown, okay, was completely flat-footed. But as soon as he got onside, okay, he darts and tries to go fill that lane. And what that does is it brings everybody with him, and it creates space for layer 2, okay? Not every time you'll be able to hit layer 2, but it creates space. Okay, here's something else I want to talk about. So Killorn, who's behind the net now. Rewind it a hair. Okay. So if you're able to see, okay. So we talked about earlier, right? About just a clip before about my D toe cap facing north diving in, and I need a forward toe cap facing south diving out. Okay. Killorn, the guy who's kind of around the behind, that's Brown. Killorn was behind the net, took it back and went wide. Okay. Now it looks like we lose the puck, right? It goes along the board. One of the biggest pet peeve of mine is, when I played, coach always said, we lose the puck, we got to get above, Yeah, that's fine. I get it if we lose the puck. But if it's like a 50-50, even if it's like a 40-60, if it looks like we might be able to bring it in, to keep it in, I want to make sure that I keep one player below the goal line. Okay, usually puck side, below the goal line. So right now you'll see, so it looks like the defenseman gets handcuffed, and it doesn't pan out, but you're going to see, whoops. Sorry, guys.
Don't worry about it.
Next one.
It was the next one, was Florida.
Yeah, right here. Okay. Okay. So Killorn stops behind the net because it looks like we might get it. But even in some kind of battles, you should still keep a guy below the goal line. Okay. Okay. It doesn't pan out. Okay. So I'm stopping it here. Okay. The defenseman got handcuffed. It doesn't pan out. Okay. This guy who now becomes in the layer 2 because Killorn is below him, his job is to get as close to the puck as possible and hunt. Okay. Don't just watch. You got to hunt. Okay. And if it's, let's say this was if the defenseman was a battle on the wall instead of him trying to rim it, let's say the puck died here, then maybe Killorn, instead of being below the goal line, maybe he gets right off this defenseman right here to keep body position on the rim. But also, if we lose the battle, you're not 10 feet away where you get beat up the ice by a 4th or 5th guy. Okay. But my goal here is to, if we establish position, if we win a battle, our only play might be to throw it down the wall behind the net or anywhere below the goal line. And if everybody's trying to get above, you might as well not have battle with that puck because you're giving it back to the other team no matter what. Nobody's below there. Okay, so always be careful telling your player, you got to get above, you got to get above. Yeah, get above if they're in complete position and speed, okay? But if it's going to look like it's going to be a battle, you should be a little patient before getting above because if we win it, let's keep possessing. So I hope I understand it. And I'm sure I'll have questions about that.
So Marty, some coaches would call that cheating.
Yeah.
What would you say to that as a player when a coach would maybe give you that?
Yeah, well, for me, I had plenty of arguments with some of my coaches about, I called it calculated risk. There's a big difference between a calculated risk and a cheating. Like to me, what am I risking here right now? I'm risking that I can't catch that 4th or 5th guy. I'm risking that I'm going to make this a 5-on-4 up the ice or a 4-on-3 up the ice. I think I'm not worried about that risk. I'd rather make sure that if we win a battle, we're able to sustain pressure. We're not just giving back the puck. So every situation's different. But the last thing I want to do is make my players robots. We lose the puck, you got to get above. No, you got to make reads with and without the puck. And some reads are calculated and you got to process it and stuff. And, and I always compare hockey to math, where the equation changes constantly and you got to try to solve the problem. It happens quick. So, this is kind of an example of that. So hopefully this plays. Okay, so right away, So here was Killorn, who hung below here, and now he saw that we lost the puck, okay? Once he saw that we lost the puck, he actually got above. Try to get above once we actually lost it. But then we had a good play by Brown. Thanks for your patience here, but I feel that's the best way to do it. Okay? I just want you to understand the order here that things have happened. Okay? As soon as Killorn sees that we lose the puck, now is the time to get above. If I'm reading this right now, I'm getting above. Okay? And Killorn gets above, tries to get above, but now we turn it over and he gets a scoring chance. All right. Okay. So this is going to be a retrieval off a pursuit. Okay. So, oh, this is annoying. So you talk about covering ice. This is covering ice. Nobody's duplicating job. They have nowhere to go. Okay. That's without the puck, covering ice. Covering ice. They turn it over. Okay, this is what I want to talk about. So right now, two guys at the net, okay? And I think okay. So, I mean, old school hockey, you probably those two guys would stay in front of the net and battle it out. Okay. Having that guy right here rise up towards the hash mark. Okay. You can create high tips, like even like a shot on the ice. It's really hard for a winger that comes out and defend to stop a hard slapper on the ice, because on the ice we're full of holes. The higher you shoot the puck, the less holes you have. On the ice, there's tons of holes, okay? So I would encourage your defenseman to really process it, like, really not focus on the guy in front of him, but what's next to him? What's next to him? Can we hit somebody here? And that's really hard for a goalie to stop as well. A puck that's going to change direction in the high slot, okay? So I love to have that guy to come out, okay, and presents itself for a tip. Now, what happens a lot is you draw a D. You're probably going to draw somebody with you. It creates more space at the net. The other guy at the net is probably engaged, but there's more space, okay? And to me, it's about retrievals. That guy who's here, okay, can retrieve pucks. So this one got blocked, retrieved. Okay, a lot of the time, if this guy's over here, what ends up happening is they get blocked, and now you got a back check. But if you're covering ice as a team, okay, like these guys are, you will retrieve. Okay, and ozone is all about retrievals. Okay.
Marty, talk about the difference between possession. My era was about cycling the puck in the corner and possessing. Talk a little bit just shortly about the difference between retrievals and how that happens and shooting the puck compared to possessing and cycling.
Yeah, but that's, a lot of, where does a team want you? The defensive team, where do you think they want you? They want you in the corners. They want you in the corner that's away from the net. So if you're going to cycle the puck in the corner, go ahead. I would let them cycle, because they're not accomplishing anything. If they're going low to high now in a hurry, that's dangerous. If they go low to high quick, the defenseman usually has more space. He can ride the middle, maybe. Maybe if he rides it for 5 feet, he throws it back against to the wall or hits his partner, whatever it is. That's the dangerous ice. The dangerous ice the ice in the corner is not dangerous. Like for me, like when I'm defending, we try to establish battles in the corner. Okay. But if you can let the puck do the work and play on the move, I call, okay, play on the move, is constantly not giving them an opportunity to create a battle. Because in today's game, the minute they create a battle, they usually try to outnumber you. So now you're going to try to have to win a battle and try to make a play, which is going to be hard, And if you can go low to high, or you can go, behind the goal line, behind the net with it, and you change the point of attack, usually you'll possess and you'll create scoring chances. It's about shots. It's not about possession. It's about shots. So let's not be fooled if you're spending all that time in the offensive zone trying to actually figure out how much scoring chance and shots you're actually generating. Same thing goes for the power play. Like if I'm running a power play and we have to make 10 passes before we shoot the puck, we're not doing our job. It should be like 3-4 passes tops, shot, retrieve, do it again. Like even like 5-on-5. Sometimes like the simple play is the best. The play to the top, a shot that might break somebody's stick or might hurt someone. Now you're 5 against 4.5 maybe, and you retrieve because you're covering ice. And now you do it again. And now it opens up. The pretty plays and all that stuff might open up off the chaotic situation from shooting pucks. So let's play this out. So watch how much ice they're covering. Okay, I mean, if I rewind it, Point's been skating all over the ice, but everybody's reacting off of it. Okay, it gets pushed down. That puck gets pushed down. And watch. Okay, now that's great offense. Layers. That's layer right there. Understanding the layers of the game. Okay. So right now the puck carrier is in is layer 1. The guy at the net is in layer 1 as well. But those guys, they can't score from there. They're looking for layer 2. Who's layer 2? Well, Johnson knows he's layer 2, so he gets open. Okay. And if that's not open, then maybe you keep possessing up the wall and hit the D. That's your third layer. And you do it over and over and over. But it's understanding the guys without the puck where they have to be. Okay, so we always talk about working hard on and off the puck. Don't just watch. Force guys to give you the puck because of where you're going. Okay. All right, this is actually – oh, no. This is actually my 2005 team, and again, this is okay. These are 14-year-olds, and similar stuff, okay? Transition, we fill lanes, okay? And we attack. Okay, now we possess. Okay, now if you notice, number 2 was a defenseman, okay? That really was on the rush. And now 23 realized, okay, he's coming out. I got to go in. So now, you see my cursor right now? He realized that Guzzo, my other player, is behind him, so he's going to jump in. I think he does. So I like that a lot. Okay, I like this guy to find ice in between guys. Okay, the best players to me, especially in the NHL, the best players are the guys that can play in between people. Okay, not in between people like their line mates, in between the opponents. See if you can play in between two guys. Who's got you? You know, because to me, like I keep coming as high as I can, you know, because now this guy is going to think, well, he's too high. So watch this. Talk about layers, okay? Let me rewind this. And we're 5-on-5. It looks like we're on the power play. We're actually 5-on-5, okay? Look how much ice we're covering. Hit the hole. It doesn't work out. We fend on it, okay? Now, this was the guy that was in the hole. Watch how he works his butt off to get back here, okay, and retrieve. Okay, second part of that clip's coming up. Okay, low to high. Fan on the shot, but look how much we're covering ice. That's why you retrieve, because we're covering ice. Okay, we fend on it, but we still recover. We cover it. We get it back. Low, no handle. Okay, we didn't handle it. Hold on. Sorry. So there is no set plays here. There's 0 set plays. They're all making reads. Yeah, I mean, like, could we have passed that puck? Could we have passed that puck over here? Maybe, but then you know, it's easy for us after whether we're on the bench as a coach or we're doing a video, and it's easy to nitpick. Ah, look, you could have done this, could have done that. You know, like to me, like you can't nitpick their reads constantly. Okay, there's got to be some consistency in some of their reads, and if there isn't, you know, you got to teach them through video. But you know, it's about allowing them to find the best play, and sometimes the best play is a simple one. You know, like I said, there's 0 set plays on these clips. It's all about you know, a concept of where we should be, and our biggest concept is covering ice. Whether it's transition and coming out of the zone quick, no matter if you're a left winger, right winger, or center. If you're closest to that board, you're on that board quick, and you fill the rest. You know, in the offensive zone, if you're a D on the entry, if you're a D next to the puck carrier, you're driving that net no matter what. It's okay. Like, it's a concept of covering ice. Offensive zone, same thing. Okay, I think
So Marty, we got a ton of questions coming in that kind of, first of all, Robbie Pattison's on, so he wanted me to say hi. But how do you practice with this group? I mean, you've been with this group for a number of years. How do you get them to in practice to get the repetitions of the reads? What's the format look like? You get them to get to the level that they're at right now.
I've had these guys for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. Like, I never, you don't teach everything at once. You know, I remember when I first took that group, the only thing I wanted is having a high guy in the offensive zone. Okay, not having 3 guys below the top of the circle. Always have 1. Okay. Then once I got that, I worked on, okay, we're going to learn to drive the net. Second guy that crosses the blue line would drive the net. Okay. But we still had the high guy in the offensive zone. You add pieces, bits and pieces all the time, not all at once. Every couple of weeks, focus on one thing. You know, like to me, like that, you know, the in the offensive zone, always make sure we have a guy in the hole, wherever that is. In the hole, it's not always in, you know, I call it the hole. Some people call it the diamond, whatever it is, you know, and it's not always there. It could be anywhere in here, but you have to find the soft ice. You know, the getting the guy to hang on below the goal line if it looks like we're going to get it. You know, these are things that I added like gradually. But whenever you add something, you still remember the other things. Okay. But you can't teach, you know, 10, 12, 14-year-olds everything at once. You got to break it down a little bit and just work on one thing at a time. In terms of how I do it honestly, like a lot of these concepts, I don't work on it in practice. A lot of these concepts are on chalkboard before games. So we're focused on this weekend, you know, and I don't waste my time. You know, I don't waste my time on the chalkboard during practice. That ice time is so much more valuable. I really like to, you know, to focus on skill, maybe one flow drill, and then it's really decision making. It's read and react. It's a lot of small area games with consequences. You know, and for me, I really like. You know, if the team scores, he gets the puck back. And I like to do a drill sometime where, you know, I go cross ice and it's a 3-on-3, but, you know, if the kid gets sticky or he didn't make a good read, you know, I'll tell, you know, if I yell his name, they go to like to the blue line and back, to the far blue line and back. So now you go from a 3-on-3 to a 3-on-2 for a short amount of time. And now that should change your thinking. And same thing on defensive side of things. You know, you're not even strength anymore. So I try to put them in a situation where they have to read and react, and consequences also part of it. But I focus a lot on skill, on pace in practice, on competing. I don't focus on breakouts and you know, honestly, I don't spend a lot of time on my power play either. I just there's more things that are important than just be able to play on a power play.
So guys on that are on the call, feel free to send in some questions, and we'll certainly get to Marty here. But also, Marty, a question for you. We've talked about it a lot over the years. What was hard for you offensively, and what was easy for you offensively? Obviously, you led the league in scoring a couple of times. You won the Hart Trophy. You know, you won a cup. You're in the Hall of Fame. You did a lot of things in the game. Phenomenal college player. What was easy for you? What was hard for you? And how did that happen through coaching?
I mean, I think the hardest thing for me as a player was my coach. Any coaches that told me what I needed to do, like not in a sense that I didn't want to listen to them. It was more, I didn't want to be forced in set plays and this and that. I wanted to play in a free environment where I can make reads. You know, to me as a coach, I think the number one job as a coach is, and if you want things to be done a certain way, you need to convince your players. You know, it's not like do that just because. You know, let me show you why I think this works. And once you convince them, you have them. You know, but you know, especially at the young age, like it drives me nuts when I hear coach like yelling to get the puck deep all the time. You know, they yell deep. Yeah, they want that puck 200 foot from their net. Like there's situation to chip a puck, get the puck in, whatever it is. There's situation, but it can't be your number one play. And as a player, you'll never develop if your goal is to get that puck deep once you pass the red line, because that means you're being handcuffed, and you can't allow yourself to make that judgment. Is this a situation where I'm skating with it, making a play, or I'm going to chip to myself? Because for the longest time, I mean, and trust me, I lost games I didn't like to lose, but it was worth it. Like I didn't let anybody, they weren't allowed to dump it. If we could make a play, we would take the puck back, go D-to-D and do it over again. You know? Yeah, does that cause turnovers and breakaways against? Yeah, absolutely. But, you know, now that they hit the, you know, we're Bantam level, like we're focusing a little more on situational play, you know, which, you know, it's 3-on-3 coming up the ice. You know, you probably won't be able to make a play. You know, how do we chip it to ourselves, and how do we establish possession below the top of the circle and wait for help? You know, time on the clock, tie game, whatever. Like there's situational play that has to be taught. I don't think it's something you're trying to teach. You're trying to win a game when they're 10, 12 years old. You know, if anything, you want them to realize, oh, I got nothing here. Let me make a little tight turn here and go back and possess and hit my D, go D to D, get open again. Like, or let's just dump it in just because I have nothing. To me, you're not solving the problem. Not at 10, 12. You got to let them make the reads and let them fail. That's okay.
Marty, we talked yesterday quite a bit, but talk a little bit about the face-off, the circle, and routes, and set plays, and the gray versus the black and white in that scenario.
Yeah, see, hockey is very gray, you know, and the only time that hockey is black and white is off face-offs. You know, I mean, you see a lot of face-off plays at the higher level. You know, there's assignments. If you win the face-off, there's assignments. If you lose a face-off, usually. So for like that 2.5 second, it's black and white, and then it becomes gray again. And that gray area, that's where the game is played. Really, it's who makes the best reads, and you know, so you have to allow them to make decisions and make reads. And as you're teaching, if you do video work, any video work, you can help them with their reads, because you can slow it down. You can tell them, look, this is what I'd like you to do here. You know, so I want you to think about, you know, but also ask them what they were thinking, not always be, I want you to do that, because they might teach you something that you don't know. So let them, you know, answer the question sometimes. Don't give them the answer. You know, I think the video helps with the reads. And as you progress throughout the season, you'll find players get better with the reads. You know, then the next year, even better and better and better. But they got to be an environment where they're not being told what to do with the puck. They're being asked to work hard on and off the puck, compete, and in my term, covering ice, not duplicating job.
Marty, obviously you have 3 boys. You got Ryan in our national program out in Plymouth. You got Lucas, who's on the screen here right now, playing as an 05, and you have Mason, who's an 08. You've seen a lot of youth hockey over the last couple of years since you retired. What do you see that you like? What do you see that you don't like? And how are you attacking the stuff that you don't like with your own boys?
What I like, you know, I mean, I like the growth of the game. You know, I mean, the skill level, the talent, like obviously seeing many different age group, traveling quite a bit with them, just the skill level out there and the talent. The game is totally on another level right now. What I don't like is kind of what I kind of said earlier, you know, coaches that really dictate what wants to be done on the ice. You know, they're almost playing their own game. They pretty much have a remote from the bench, and it's very loud. I don't like that at all. I think, you know, also the complaining about every calls with the refs, and then the parents get involved and all. That's really, like, you know, to me, like, it all evens out. Like, you're gonna have games that you're gonna be on the bad side of thing. You have games you're gonna be on the good side of thing. And I don't want thing. Yelling won't get you on the good side of thing. I think the refs are gonna make mistakes. Yeah, there's definitely times I bite my lip, but you know, it's not worth it, because then the kids see that, the parents see that, and then it's just a terrible environment. You know, well, we all make mistakes, and the refs will. And you know, I hate it when it's so loud in the rink, and now you can see the game get out of control, and the kids are feeding off everything, the coach, the parents. So that's one thing that I don't like, and I feel like we've done a pretty good job as a group, a 05 group anyway, to try to stay away from it.
What with your boys, if you had one or two habits or concepts that you really hope that they move on after they've been with you as a coach, what would those be? What's your major focus with your three boys as far as concerned?
Well, they're all different, but for me, I think the two things that are gonna separate you as a player, or even forget set, who maybe make you overachieve, is IQ and competing. I think obviously the hockey IQ is not easy to develop. Uh, um, Compete, to me, it's a non-negotiable. Non-negotiable. It's not just working hard. Competing is working hard all the time. It's not just working hard when you feel like working hard. The skating, the hands, the shooting, all that can get improved. But competing is a mindset. And IQ is just understanding that there's more of a game than just your own little game. There's 4 other guys out there, and there's 5 other guys on the other team. The game doesn't just start when the puck is on your stick. And obviously being a good teammate.
Marty, we'll do one last question and then we'll wrap this up. What's been the biggest adjustment for you coming from being a Hall of Fame NHL player to coaching youth hockey in the United States? What was the biggest adjustment for you?
Well, I think the biggest adjustment, just having 3, for me personally, having 3 boys, different age, and coming off NHL hockey, to dummy it down to the age appropriate level, and it was hard at one point because I was coaching 03s, 05, 08s, and sometimes you get off the bench with the 03 and you jump on the 05 and you expect your 05s to do things that the 03s are doing, and it's just like not realistic. So to me, it was probably like teaching the appropriate stuff for the appropriate age and have the right expectation for where they're at. And I think I've gotten better every year with that.